Hi and welcome to the SohoLIFF Spotlight. I'm Liz Farahadi and I am delighted to be joined today with Shaun Gillham, who is here with his absolutely beautiful film, an animation called The Drowning. So congratulations on this.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's such a fabulous, fabulous film. For people watching, without kind of spoiling it, could you just give a little outline of what it's about?
Yeah, so it's about a guy called Austin, his struggles with substance abuse and mental health issues, and the potential effects that it can have on those around you. Because everyone always looks at the person with the issues, and that's completely valid, that's completely fair, but I do feel like that's a story which has been told a fair amount of times, and no one really considers the other person, the person helping them, their partner, their loved one, their family, and how it affects them. So I felt like that was a story that needed to be told.
It's a really important point. Nobody thinks about that.
Yeah.
Is it like, because that's the exhausting bit, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
No, so it's a very mature take on things, actually, to look there. What made you choose to do it as an animation?
So it was a part of my university course. So I've been studying post-production and visual effects for the past 3 years. Completed now, graduated, woohoo! But yeah, so in my spare time, I've always been interested in animation, particularly in like the last 3, 4, 5 years. Films like, I don't know, the new Spider-Man, like when that came out, the Spider-Verse, like just the style of it just enticed me hugely. And then I have a lot of inspiration from my friends who also do animation, and just all those things just tied together, and I just step by step kind of go into animation, and it just was the natural course for the film just to animate it. I say animate it. It was motion capture.
Right.
But yeah.
I mean, and how did you build it? Did you start with the animation first, or did you do the story first, or was it?
So, truthfully, I think I should have done the motion capture first, then gone and created the scenes around it. I kind of knew the rough layout because I'd done X, Y, and Z sketches for it to plan it all out previously. But with it being university, there's so many deadlines, and I'm talking, I think this was meant to be, it was my final major project, I think it was meant to be 400 hours, and my project was 900 hours, so I didn't really have the time to be faffing about and waiting to go and film motion capture, especially with it being a university studio. Shout out University of Salford, you've got a great motion capture facility. But yeah, it's an amazing studio with some amazing actors, and like I couldn't just say, oh, we're filming today on the first day, because everyone has different priorities, and you need to kind of get the ball rolling in your final major project as soon as you can. So I started modelling the scenes and putting them together, and then after I filmed the motion capture, I kind of went in and was like, oh, this wall needs to be half a foot more forward, and I just bring it forward, and yeah, just one thing after another was kind of like that.
Oh, I mean, you pulled it off because it's so stunning. I mean, it's really poetic. It's just, it's beautiful. I mean, with all those deadlines and all those pressures, was there ever a point where you kind of thought, okay, I've got to just spell it out a bit more, or kind of lose that thread, or were you just absolutely sticking to the vision that you had?
You know what? It was kind of the opposite. I had my lecturer, James. He told me that animation, because I originally thought about animating it by hand, animating each character, and he told me, Shaun, you can't do that. You won't get it finished. Like, you will not get it finished. The animators dedicate their whole lives to that, and it takes hours and hours and hours. And I thought, what does he know? and then I went away and did a little bit of animation for a couple of days, and I got like a second and a half done. I was like, I can't do this. So I went I went and had a meeting with him. We reevaluated, and we decided on motion capture. It was originally going to be just literally like a minute and a half.
Right.
And I found myself adding in scenes and adding in extra shots all throughout, because I kind of just no-lifed it, to be honest. I just dedicated everything to this film just for those 4 months. Like I stopped going out. I stopped eating properly. Like, it was awful, but
it's making films.
Yeah, just dedicating. Like, what is art without sacrifice? Truthfully, But yeah.
Oh, and I mean, you took on a pretty strong subject. I mean, dealing with addiction. How did you go about working with that and finding the symbolisms that you used that were so powerful in it?
It's hard because it's especially, I haven't said this before, but it's loosely based on one of my friend's experiences, and potential routes that he could have gone down with his partner. And it's so hard to go about doing that in the right way without like kind of offending anyone, especially because addiction is such a real issue, but that wasn't kind of the point of the film. It was really difficult to kind of, I don't know, make sure that then everyone was happy with the situation. I think, to be honest, I think I could have done more in terms of talking to people who have suffered from X, Y, and Z, and ensuring that what I was putting out was factually all correct, because I was a bit hesitant to do that. Especially like, I mean, I do post-production. I sit behind the like this isn't normal for me. I sit behind the computer screen. I'm not used to being in front of a camera going out and talking to people, so it's all very scary for me trying to go and like get those influences from the real world.
Well, I mean, it's lovely what you've captured there. I mean, do you feel that it had to be specifically that type of addiction, or you could have put that with anything, with any type of addiction?
Yeah,
there's plenty, aren't there?
I think addiction in general it's an umbrella term just for everything. So yeah, well, since this film, it's substance abuse. Like it could be alcohol, it could be like anything, like literally anything that anyone can get addicted to ever, because truthfully they are all how do I put it, all addiction is comparable.
Yeah.
Even like, I know people think, oh, that addiction's not as bad as that addiction, but if you suffer from one kind of addiction, like it's an illness is the truth, you can get into any kind of addiction. Totally.
And it's quite a deep level that you've dealt with as well. It's really kind of looking at the emotional effects and how you look out at the world and the relationships around you. It's really beautiful. The music score is very powerful in it as well. So how did you go about that? Did you know what music you wanted to use, or did you do that after you'd done the
It's actually funny. So I had a composer, and we met up a couple of times. He went to my university as my friend of mine, and we were doing a couple bits, and we weren't really getting anywhere, weren't really making any kind of progress. And I said to him, oh, like, forget about it, it's fine, like, I'm just going to use stock audio. I'll use that, I'll just find some song, because like this was like 2 weeks before deadline. Nice. And I hadn't had the first draft. So I was like, it's fine, like, don't worry, I just want to be safe and make sure it's done for the deadline. And he was like, oh, he was a bit bummed out, but it's fine, I was going to do that. And then I spoke to my best friend on the phone and told him, and he was like, oh, my sister was asking if because it was an alt film. So my friends and I have a little studio called Alt,
right?
And his sister recently asked him, because she does music. She actually does an awful lot of things, like breast cancer and all sorts, but she also writes music. And she's just approached him and said, do you or any of your friends want me to write a score for any of their films? I was like, what? Couldn't believe my luck. So yeah, one thing led to another. She wrote the score, and Aveen, you are a saint. Thank you so much. You absolutely killed it. I couldn't have asked for anything more of her. It was amazing.
It really works with it. Yeah, it's so powerful. Yeah. Oh, so that's just like the film gods, isn't it?
Yeah, it just fell into place, honestly. Like, it was so perfect. There was everything I imagined it'd be and more, honestly, for the score.
Oh, and so she took your animation and did the score afterwards. Is
that
how it worked?
I had one update from her, and it was through my friend, and she was just watching the film back and just randomly like playing along with it. Oh, really? She's like, oh, this is kind of what I feel like for this. And it was just like how do you just like, this is what she sees, and just automatically in her brain that this is what she feels like, it goes with it, and it just does so perfectly. I mean, I'm pretty tone deaf, so it's like I don't really understand that sort of.
No, it's quite incredible actually watching people
I don't have musical bone in my body. It was like when I heard it, it just worked perfect.
Oh, well done! Congratulations on it.
Yeah.
And what's next?
So actually, on Friday, I'm going to France to meet with Aveen's brother Dara, and we're starting to work on our next film. We're going to work on a film together. We're still in the very, very early stages of it, but he's actually just moved to France for a bit because he wanted to get a bunch of inspiration for that film, and we're gonna like go around, look at all the architecture, do a bunch of paintings, get references for the film, and etc. etc.
Cool.
And then crack on.
Can I ask what the film is that you're working on?
It's still so super early still, but we're thinking it's basically going to be this girl who travels around, and that's all you get to know.
Cool. Okay. All right.
She may or may not have some form of sidekick.
Okay. I'm going to be watching you. I'm going to watch this space.
Okay, fantastic.
Oh, well, look, thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me.
Oh, and you have to watch this. It really is. It's really special animation. It's brilliant. Called The Drowning, and will be at the festival January 2025. Thank you.
No, thank you.